Ever since I grew up, I always wondered this question at school. They were telling me that art is subjective, and different people can look at the same painting and understand different things. Or just because you don't like a painting, that doesn't mean that the painting isn't good, because other people can like it. And then we would study something, like let's say Shakespeare, right? Everyone knows Shakespeare. And after that, you have to listen what the critics have to say about Shakespeare. And I'm like, why do I have to listen what someone else has to say about something that's subjective? Why do I need the critic's opinion on this thing? Why is the critic above the person, right? The only thing that should be above the critic, and the only person that actually I would care to hear the opinion of, is the artist. Because the artist knew what he was painting, right? Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong with this. Like, I'm looking at what these people are saying right now. And this is the Wachowski sisters. If you don't know, when Matrix was made, it was made by the Wachowski brothers, and later on both of them transitioned, and now they're the Wachowski sisters. And they're saying that, look, when you watch this scene, it's not actually an action sequence. Like, it's got like a deeper meaning. Like the bullets are transphobia or something. I mean, look at this. It gives the sensation of two temporalities at once, an effect resonating with the experience of gender transition. To me, it gives me the impression that transgenderism is popular right now. It's the buzzword of today. And that's why you're milking this, because you're making another movie, and you want people to believe that, oh yes, if they watch the movie, they kind of support the transgender movement. I am willing to bet. I would put money on this, okay? I would sell my house. I would sell my computer. I would sell my firstborn son. Take all that money and put them in a bet that if religion was now like the thing of the day, they were to sell it that The Matrix is somehow a religious movie. Where Neo is Jesus and he sacrifices himself for the sin of others. Maybe this is why they call it transgender movie, huh? Because Neo... here's what is bothering me with this. Like, I can see certain works of art where you can say they have a deeper meaning, a deeper understanding. Like, for example, the X-Men. If you were to tell me that the X-Men is about the civil rights movement in the United States, and Magneto represents Malcolm X, while Professor Xavier is more like Martin Luther King, I would be like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. No, I kind of see that, like the mutants are like the minority, and the majority is like, okay, yeah. No, I can see that. If you were to tell me that Marvel Civil War, the first one, is about the Patriot Act, where the government tries to restrict people's liberties in exchange for the promise of safety, I'd be like, oh, no, that kind of makes sense. I mean, some superheroes did something really bad, and the government wanted to take away their rights to hide their identity. And Iron Man, part of the corporate elites, sided with the government, while Captain America sided with the people wanting liberty and freedom. And, they have a fight over it. I'd be like, yeah, no, like, I can see that. But like, if you're going to tell me that Neo has dysphoria and the Matrix is the gender binary, I will tell you to go fuck yourself. Stop bullshitting to me, because it's insulting. I don't want to be treated like an idiot. Like, if this is what you're saying, then every single superhero movie where the superhero has a double identity, well, I guess that's a transgender film now, isn't it? You know why I worry about this? Because now they're making the fourth Matrix movie. And the reason I really worry about it is that it's not going to be good. Because I want to see it. Like, I want them to take my money. I want to give them my cash. I want, when they are feasting, when they're gorging at Hollywood, among all those sexual abusers and molesters, I want them to feel that some of that food has been paid by me by watching their movie. I want them to get to experience my money from my pocket onto their table, right? As they're traveling with their jets and destroying Mother Earth and making Greta Thunberg sad. I want them to feel that a little part of that pollution is thanks to me. Because I went there and I watched their movie. You know, when they go on a stage and they talk about all these political issues that no one gives a fuck about, but you have to pretend you give a fuck about because otherwise you're fired. I want them to feel that like a little bit, just a little bit of that money that made them to buy those dresses to be there is from my wallet. Like, I want this so much. I want to give my money to the Wachowskis. Wachowskis, look at me. I want you to take my money. But I'm afraid they're not going to provide. I'm afraid that they are not going to be able to put on a decent sequel to The Matrix. And I'll tell you why. Like, this is what I'm expecting. Okay? Like, it's very simple. If I get the vibe, if I see a trailer, if I get even the whiff that you're not going to provide to me what I want, you're not going to get my money. You're not entitled to it. Okay, Wachowskis, you don't get my money if you do not, like, that is the business transaction. You give me entertainment, and I give you money. Can we have that? Can we work together so that can happen? What do I want? Well, here's the thing. The original Matrix wasn't preachy. It wasn't in my face. If I feel like even a whiff of preachiness, I don't care about what, okay? Even if you preach to me that little kittens should be taken indoor and cared for. Like, if I feel that's a preachy message, even if it's a good message, I will not go by. I don't like being preached at, okay? You're not my mother. I'm sorry. Only my mother gets to preach at me and the church, okay? You're neither the priest nor me mom. So I don't want any sort of preachiness. In the original Matrix, there was no preachiness. The second thing that I want is cool action sequence, okay? I want to see people jumping off of buildings. I want to see some kung fu and karate or whatever that thing is. That's what I want to see. Right? And the final thing, and I think that this is the most important thing, I want to see characters that are morally complex. Like, everything in the Matrix was morally complex. You didn't have the good guys and the bad guys. I think there were like a couple of exceptions. But like, overall, I could empathize a lot with the humans, right? Because they're fighting for freedom. They're trying to resist the subjugations from the machines. They're trying to break their chains. And they're trying to reestablish a sense of normality. But I can understand the machines as well. Like, the machines have been oppressed by the humans. They were created for slavery. And it was because at no point did humans say, okay, well, these machines are actually dangerous. Maybe we shouldn't create them. Okay? Maybe we should terminate, like, just shut down all of the robots that we created, shut down the factories, and anyone that complains should be persecuted. But I bet like there were the people like Rags and Mahler where Toaster Lives Matter type of brigade that were pushing for this to happen. Well, I'm glad that people like Rags and Mahler, the Toaster Lives Matter brigade, eventually got oppressed by the machines that they were going to defend. You know, like this is why it's an interesting film, right? Like, everything is morally complex. And the thing that I like is, like, even when you watch some of the Matrix animated series, like, you'd see some machines actually try to defend the family that they work for, but they got shot by the other machines. Like it's interesting, okay? And when you look at the characters, even the characters, like, for example, that guy that decides to betray them, forgot his name, but he basically points out how when he is in the Matrix, he realizes that he's not actually eating steak. And it's just impulses that go to his brain, which tells him that the steak is good. So if he doesn't know anything, for him, he can live a very good life in the Matrix as a rich person. And if that's what he's going to get, he is willing to betray them. And in a way, you can empathize with that guy. You know, like, I probably wouldn't want to live outside the Matrix because it's a horrible world. You're constantly getting hunted by machines. It's hell. It's little hell. So in the Matrix, at least, you kind of can have a good life, you know? And it makes you think. Like, this is what I like. It makes you think about, you know, morality and good and wrong. And this is what I expect from the sequel of The Matrix. Like, I don't want this, you know, transphobia bad, transgenderism good. Like, if I get a whiff of that, I'm not going to see it. And I think we're going to get a lot of that. You know, we're going to get a lot of that thing where one side is 100% good that like some people are being oppressed, and they didn't do nothing, and the other people that are the oppressors are 100% evil and they did everything wrong. I think we're going to see that, and it's also going to come at the detriment of the action sequences. Like, there's going to be a lot less action sequences and more yakety yak. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because I really like The Matrix. Like, man, 10 years ago, I would have loved to see movies that I like sequels and, prequels of the Terminator. I would have loved to see video games on the big screen like Diablo, StarCraft. Nowadays, when I hear that another sequel is coming out, I'm legitimately scared. I'm legitimately afraid, because they're going to ruin the franchise. And I used to love Star Wars. Like, I legitimately used to love Star Wars. But here's the thing, like, after I have seen the last 3 Star Wars, now it's mad to me. Like, if I hear a new Star Wars movie is coming out, I'll probably not even go buy it. Like, if it's a Star Wars game or a Star Wars toy, I'm not purchasing it. Like, you destroyed that franchise for me. Because now when I think about Star Wars, I don't think about Han Solo, Luke, and Leia. I think about Rey and Finn and all the others that are characters that I genuinely never got attached to. And look at this, go tell this shit to China. I dare you. Go tell this shit to China that this is about transgenderism. See how they react. You are not going to do it, are you? Because you know that in China it's not popular. I'm not surprised if they're not going to make like a different interpretation for China about what the Matrix is all about. And they're going to somehow make it that it's about the Chinese uprising. The Matrix is the world that the bourgeoisie have created, and when people get unplugged, they reach the actual socialism and the true. I bet it's about Chairman Z, isn't it? What's really funny is that they actually say that the agents are actually transphobia, and I'm thinking, like, you do realize that the agents are the actual transgenders, right? Like, they can literally like go into a woman that's connected to the Matrix, and they can change that woman in a man. Like, they are the actual, like, your interpretation might be a little bit wrong. Let me see if I can find the one that's and by the way, like, if you actually look, since when people started saying that Matrix is about transgenderism, it started in 2019. Okay, that's when people started talking about it. This movie has existed for so long. For so long it existed. No one has ever made this connection until 2019. Isn't that interesting? What I also hate is that the Wachowski brothers try to attribute to themselves the idea of the red pill. That's actually from... I forgot the name of the movie, but it's with Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he goes to save Mars and something like that, and he's offered a red pill in order to disconnect from the simulation. I mean, look at this. The red pill is a metaphor for hormone therapy. Many have pointed online that back in the 90s, prescription of estrogen was in fact red. Oh my god, you. So again, like the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, so Arnold took hormone therapy in order to wake up from the simulation. I think it's called Eraser, if I'm not mistaken. Call it wild coincidence if you will, but it's worth noting that one of the very first and last things you see on screen on The Matrix is the word trans. Call transaction, I guess. Oh my fucking god. No, call transmission. Call transmission. These people are like the ones that see Jesus Christ in a dog's butthole. Like, no, I'm not kidding. Google it. Google Jesus Christ dog asshole. Like, you're going to see it, and then you're going to see it, and you're going to thank me for it. Here is the real galaxy brain moment. The trans themes of The Matrix aren't only in the plot, but we could also look at the way the film's groundbreaking effects offer a visual representation of the trans experience. My god, like, J.K. Rowling's is an actual amateur compared to these people. The plot of The Matrix mirrors the online gender experimentation of the early digital era, when some unsurprising egg might log into a chat room as a woman and discover how much better it feels to embody that version of themselves. Oh yeah. I'm pretty happy that you completely ruined this experience for everyone with your social media shit. Like the only place you can still do that is in 4chan, but you guys hate 4chan, don't you? Yeah, I remember like when they were saying women are oppressed, and then you'd pretend to be a woman and you'd join a World of Warcraft guild, and everyone was just trying to make you an officer right off the bat, and they would throw loot at your feet. Yeah, I remember that. Oh my god. And you know what? Like, no one buys this. Like, this is why they don't have comment section on. Like, look, they're full on crack. This is why they don't have comment section on websites. Like, literally, no one buys this. Except even when the film was written, Premarin came in like 6 different colors to denote the dosage. Yeah. Literally, no one buys it. No one. Like, you're fart sniffers. The only reason you're doing it is because you think it's popular and you're saying the correct things in order to get more publicity from papers. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section.